Now, speaking of things that are really that bad, you have the Inflation Reduction Act. Just another freaking spender. Just another way for Joe Biden to crank out more money out of those printing presses. Most electric cars won't qualify for the tax credits established by the tax and spending plan recently passed by Democrats in the Senate. Oh, well, why is that? I was told that you're going to get some major tax incentives, tax credits for that matter, that actually affect the refund within itself. It's great. Everybody loves tax credits. Oh, wait, a lot of the electric vehicles that are on there aren't going to actually qualify? What? You mean you manipulated us? You mean you lied to us on the podium? Wow, shocker. Not so much of a shock, folks. According to a report from the Associated Press Tuesday, most new EVs would not qualify for the $7,500 tax credit for new EVs established in the climate spending provisions of the so-called Inflation Reduction Act. In order to qualify for the credit, get this, new electric cars must have batteries manufactured in North America, with at least 40% of its metals mined or recycled from North America. Those rules become much more strict in few years, making it even harder for new EVs to qualify, experts said. Look, I'm all for build American, buy American, but you can't push this whole thing that you're all about climate, the world's going to end in 10 years, do all these things, and then because it's not produced or manufactured in some way, shape, or form, all in America, or 40% of the metals mined or recycled here in North America, all of a sudden it's not going to qualify. I'm all for taking a jab at China, which is partially doing. But again, I don't like the hypocrisy that, oh, you know, we're going to die. You know, you need to watch your carbon emissions. You need to do this. You need to do that. And we're the government, so we're going to force you to do it. But yet you're going to pull this kind of shenanigans. And then they wonder why nobody believes in their purpose, in their mission. The EV tax credit, aka the Clean Vehicle Credit, in the bill is an effective tool to help reduce the upfront cost of an EV for the millions of Americans in the market for a new car or truck. I love that the secretary or the energy of secretary was like, oh, just buy a new electric vehicle. Yeah, they're like $40,000 to $65,000, and you got inflation going through the roof. People are having a tough time finding work in some areas, in some industries, and they're having struggle just paying gas at the pump. But yeah, just go buy a $45,000 to $65,000 freaking vehicle. Probably have to lease it, or you'll probably have to finance it, which is only going to hurt you more because you got the Federal Reserve increasing interest rates as well. Just phenomenal stuff coming from this administration regarding all of this, and phenomenal stuff coming from the Democrats for pushing it through. The president and CEO of automotive industry trade group Alliance of Automotive Innovation wrote in a blog post Friday ahead of the Senate vote. But as currently written, the material component and assembly requirements in the Clean Vehicle Credit will immediately reduce by a lot the number of qualifying electric vehicles available for consumers who purchase, or for the tax credit, who had purchased it or would be able to purchase it. Here's what I mean. There are 72 EV models currently available for purchase in the United States, including battery, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell electric vehicles. While 75% of those EVs would immediately become ineligible when the bill passes, and none of them would qualify for the full credit when adding source requirements go into effect. In a nutshell, is basically zero. The $7,500 credit might exist on paper, but no vehicles will qualify for this purchase incentive over the next few years. So it's just one mechanism that Democrats do consistently. Politicians do this as well, but you really see it from the progressive left and Democrat Party pushing a certain narrative. And it turns out when you read the fine print, it's a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of hocus pocus. Check this out for the future of where this is going. Under the Inflation Reduction Act, in order to qualify for the $7,500 credit, the full credit, at least 40% of the component materials used in the battery of the EV must be sourced from North America. But check this out. By 2027, that threshold increases to 80% of battery materials. If that requirement is not met, the EV would not qualify for half the credit. In addition, a separate rule states that at least 50% of the battery's value must be manufactured or assembled in North America. The rule becomes stricter over time, eventually requiring 100% of the battery to be made in North America by 2029. Again, no problem with having build America in America, buy America. Not a problem with that. The problem is with the messaging of this whole climate crisis agenda that they're trying to push here. And boy, if we're talking about the federal government with FBI agents going and raiding former President Donald Trump's home, when you start getting into the Great Reset and the stuff they're trying to do with these elites, utilizing climate crisis as a fear-mongering method and tool to sit there and take away your liberties and your freedoms, folks. You got a lot of things coming to you here in the future regarding what Democrats want to do, the progressive left, and weaponizing not just the DOJ and FBI, but weaponizing climate crisis to take away your freedoms and liberties. It is coming. If the vehicle doesn't meet these qualifications, the whole tax credit will be lost. Yet another rule requires that the rest of the EV itself be made in North America in order to qualify for that tax credit. On top of all those requirements, the credit does not apply to electric trucks or SUVs with retail prices above $80,000 or cars above $55,000. The credit is only available to individuals who make less than $150,000 per year or families who make less than $300,000 per year. I mean, talk about Congress never making things simple. I mean, these are the people that will make bills 2,000-3,000 pages long, give it to somebody the night before. Nobody's ever going to read it because they put in all these cockamamie things, and this is the type of stuff they push through. And people vote for it. And the Democrat Party keeps electing people who vote for it and create these asinine things. So there's kind of an update on this Inflation Reduction Act. It's just freaking head spinning. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.